Embracing experiences, being a life learner. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the podcast of The Ordinary Maverick. This is Ajay, your host, an ordinary maverick, sharing real life thoughts and experiences and maverick tips. If you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, please do so, and you will not miss another episode. We are almost at the end of 2022, another year gone by. Fellow Mavericks, a year that made all of us stop and reflect, I'm sure. As we once again ventured out of our home more confidently and started socializing again. The last 2 years have been very challenging and difficult to say the very least, fraught with anxiety and fear, apprehension as one never knew what to expect. It was impressive at the very least, seeing how we adapted and stepped out to embrace and enjoy the experience of getting back into the swing of things as they were pre-pandemic. Travel for one was back in full force. One could see that just by hearing the news that in some places security lines at airports stretched for miles and took 2 to 3 hours to clear. In-person meetings and conferences as well as celebratory occasions like weddings were back in full force. Made me think how we humans embrace experiences and take it all in our stride. I do believe we are life learners in many ways. Now, of course, not everyone does this well. Many struggle with the constant learning, having new experiences, and are content in routine. While there's nothing wrong with that, I do believe, and speaking as a result of my own personal experience, that embracing new experiences shows you aspects of your own self that you may not be even aware of. Plus, it's all in the mind and the attitude with how you approach these experiences. I have come across people that are somewhat traumatized by the very thought of moving and relocating and just look at us in horror and awe at the same time when we reveal that we have moved 28 times as a family in the last 28 years of being a family. That kind of averages out to a move each year. We often had several moves in a year as a family across cities, countries, and continents. In fact, in this year alone, each member of our family has moved, and this time it's including our 3 pet dogs too. Let's see what the new year brings in. And I hope that it's not another move, but more exploring where we all are. Speaking of new experiences, I must say we have had quite a few as a family over the years. We recount these memories often, some with a smile or a laugh, or some as just, oh wow, we learned something new there. Let me share some and you'll see what I mean. Some years back, we lived in Jamaica for a bit. Quite a bit of our time was spent exploring the beautiful island country. And that's where we first climbed a waterfall. Yes, you heard it right. We climbed a waterfall. This was in Ocho Rios, and one started at the very bottom of the fall and slowly made the way up, climbing over stones and rocks and finding spots to sit and experience the water gushing down. It was a special climb and something truly to be experienced. These are the Dunn's River Falls in Ocho Rios, and it empties directly into the Caribbean Sea, and there's a beautiful beach where one can relax at the bottom. It's one of the very few travertine waterfalls in the world. It's about 180 feet tall from its source to the sea and is fed by spring water rich with calcium carbonate and which deposits travertine, forming a sequence of tufa terraces. You may wonder what's a travertine. Well, it's a form of limestone that is formed by a process of rapid precipitation of calcium carbonate, and tufa is also called travertine as it's a variety of limestone. Geologists term falls as living as they are continuously being rebuilt by the sediments in the spring water. It takes about an hour to climb the Dunn's River Falls, and it's not easy. It can get quite slippery on the rocks, and often people hold hands like a human chain and climb up the fall. However, the natural terraces that get formed along the climb are great for just sitting and enjoying the water rushing by, and of course provide a great photo opportunities too. When we lived in Jamaica, we did the climb many times. It was a popular tourist attraction and we went there with everyone who came and visited us. Great fun and one of those experiences that are a must have. Even today, our friends and family who visited us in Jamaica recall the wonderful waterfall climb. Our girls were little at the time, but they did the climb with us, being full of energy and not wanting to be left behind. Tiny as they were, there was no worry or fear. They were both just ready to embrace this new experience. See, that's what I mean by the attitude, and it's all in the mind. Let's fast forward to a recent new experience, getting a Christmas tree home. Some are surprised when they learn of us celebrating different festivals. Believe me, over the years we have become kind of agnostic to celebrations linked with certain faiths or religions and have embraced the spirit and the love, warmth, and friendship that's central to all festivals, regardless of the part of the world that's observing them. Depending on where we were at that moment of time, we enjoy the festivities. So, yes, we love the holiday season and the joy and cheer that comes during Christmas time in almost the entire world. This year, we decided to get a live Christmas tree home. In the true spirit of embracing new experiences, we set out to find out more about getting the tree. It started with what kind of tree? Turns out the answer is not that simple, as there are many types to choose from and each has its unique points. There is the noble fir, the Douglas fir, the Fraser fir, the balsam fir, and many others. Almost 35 varieties actually. Now we are living in the northwest part of the United States, and you know what? There is a special type of tree that is only found in the northwest. That's the noble fir, long considered as the king of Christmas trees. There's something about its majestic look and its rich fragrance and perfectly spaced branches that makes it stand out. It has a very well shaped conical form with regularly shaped branches and a smooth taper from bottom to top. Most noble trees are grown in high altitudes and are known to retain moisture, and that helps in keeping the needles intact longer. Well, once we got to know a little, we unanimously settled for the noble fir. We can't live in the northwest and not have a noble fir at our home, right? Then came the question, where do we get this? We wanted to go to a place that had live trees or recently cut trees, and that's what we did. We went to a nearby nursery that's linked to its farm. Choosing the right tree was, quite a fun experience, and we finally picked out one. It was put on top of our car, tied down gently, and off we went to our home. Now we had detailed instructions of what came next if we wanted to have our tree fresh and alive for the next few weeks. Being novices, we followed the instructions to the T and enjoyed the entire thing. But when we recounted this with friends and locals, we faced one of the two reactions. Actually, both the reactions, but the order changed depending on the person. It was a big laugh and then some more laughing, followed by an awestruck expression saying, "Wow, you all are really taking care of this tree, and that this tree will be the most cared for in the entire Northwest." Or the awestruck expression and or one of disbelief came first, followed by laughter. Kind and gentle laughter that comes with genuine mirth. People couldn't believe we were taking all of this so seriously, but we diligently followed the instructions. We brought the tree down from the top of the car and stood it in a covered area in the garage, still outside the house. Meanwhile, we started lowering the temperature of the house. Being winter and with snow, it was quite cold, and the house temperature was nice and warm. So it seems that if you bring in the tree immediately, there's a temperature shocks and the poor tree frizzles off quicker. While if you bring the temperature down in the house and then bring the tree in, it acclimatizes well, and that helps the life of the tree. And then you cut off about half a centimeter from the bottom and place the tree in the water container and stand it up. That's it. You are now ready to decorate and make the tree all pretty. I'm sure you know what we did. Exactly what I just described. And yes, the house did get a bit colder, and we had to wear extra sweaters to keep warm, but our tree came in fine after a couple of days of resting in the covered garage. We were like, let's embrace this new experience and do everything possible for our tree. You see, now that we have our tree all covered up in lights and decorations and looking magnificent, it makes our heart quicken and we feel good we did our best for our tree. Now people say, gosh, you did all that for a tree? But never you mind, it gives us all a new experience as a family and we have another story to tell. Not to mention the festive feeling in the house and the stunning smell of the pine needles. It sure smells heavenly and totally feels like the holiday season at our home. Let's hope that our tree remains fresh over the next few weeks as we have done our best there. Another recent experience has been with the snowfall and the challenge of power going out. We live up in the mountains and due to many reasons, most often trees falling etc., the power goes out. Amongst other challenges, this also affects the water supply to the house. We were chatting with our neighbors and it turns out that the best way to get an endless supply of water for cleaning and toilets etc. is to collect the snow in the buckets and just wait for it to melt. That's it. One has ample water. Again, a new experience for us as we haven't lived in an area with heavy snowfall and challenges with powers and water cutoffs. Well, I can now assure you we have buckets at our home ready to collect snow if needed. We are prepared and embracing this new experience. You might think, oh, but why stay in a place that has all these challenges? Fellow Mavericks, the beauty of the surroundings, the woods in the northwest is indescribable and you guessed it, it's another new experience. We'll share more about that in another episode. As I go, I would like to leave you with this thought. A life learner equals life ready. I've spoken about being life ready earlier. For me, this is connected to the life learner aspect. Fellow Mavericks, keep the learning spirit center stage as you stand on the threshold of entering a new year and embrace all the experiences that life has to offer. Here's wishing you all happy holidays and a Merry Christmas. For those in the Northern Hemisphere, stay warm and stay safe. And for those in the Southern Hemisphere, enjoy your summers and outdoors. Do keep writing your comments and sharing your feedback via our Instagram at The Ordinary Maverick or through our hashtag The Ordinary Maverick. I love hearing from you. This is Ajay signing off and wishing you have an amazing day, a super amazing year. Keep well, stay safe. Credits. This podcast series was put together as a team effort from the Bhardwaj family. Concept, design, title, researchers and reviewers Ajay, Sanjana, Avantika and Niharika Bhardwaj. Script, Sanjana. Cover design, Niharika. All rights reserved.